Proverbs 1:7 says this, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Now, what kind of knowledge? Scientific knowledge? Knowledge of the Bible? Pharisees had that. What kind of knowledge is he talking about? Knowing God intimately is the answer. It's the beginning, it's the starting place of becoming intimate with God. What is the fear of the Lord? So many people, they go, no, we don't have to fear God because perfected love casts out fear. They're confusing the spirit of fear with the fear of the Lord. If you look at Moses, he delivers Israel out of Egypt. They come to the mountain and God's presence comes. The people run away from God. And you know what Moses says to him in Exodus 20:20? And by the way, if you want a 2020 vision, here it is. Moses said to the people, he said, do not fear. Okay, now listen to those words, do not fear, because God's come to test you. What's the test? To see if His fear is in you so that you may not sin. Now wait a minute, do not fear because God's come to see if His fear is in you? Sounds like He's contradicting Himself. No, He's not. He's differentiating between being scared of God and the fear of the Lord. There's a difference. The person who is scared of God has something to hide. They want to distance themselves from the presence of God. If you look at Adam, as soon as he sins, as soon as he disobeys God, he hides from the presence of the Lord. But the person who fears God has nothing to hide. That person's to be scared to be away from God. So if you want the first and primary definition of the fear of the Lord, it's to be terrified to be away from God. So the person who fears God is the one who embraces his heart. What God loves, he loves. What God doesn't consider to be so important, he doesn't consider to be so important. What God hates, he hates. Now listen, have you ever seen somebody religious say, oh, I fear God, that's why I hate these sinners. No, that person doesn't fear God at all, because that person actually hates what God loves. God loves sinners. He died for the whole world. So if you tell me that you hate sinners, then you don't have the fear of the Lord. But when you tell me, I love those people who are entrapped to sin, I just hate that sin that entraps them, now you're embracing His heart. That's the fear of the Lord. And remember, the great benefit is that those who fear the Lord become the friends of God. Check it out. Psalm 25, verse 14, in the New Living Translation especially, the fear of the Lord is to embrace friendship with God.